I was recently watching a video by Recrap where he explained why speedrunners alternate soul sand and gravel to tower up faster. And this got me thinking, what is the fastest way to tower up in Minecraft? While there are thousands of videos on the internet about how to bridge the fastest, there are none about the fastest way to tower up. This sent me down a deep spiral of thinking of more and more creative ways to tower up, and this led to some crazy methods. But before that, I had to find out why alternating soul sand and gravel is faster than regular blocks. And that is because soul sand isn't as high as a regular block. 0.875 high to be exact. And because you jump from a lower block to a normal block, you spend less time in the air, so you can jump earlier. But jumping from a normal block to soul sand doesn't make the air time longer for some reason, so you spend less time in the air, and therefore you go slightly faster. This strategy is used in speedrunning, because both of these blocks are easily accessible in such a short amount of time. But what if accessibility wasn't an issue? What would be the fastest way to tower up? To answer this question, there are two factors that are important: jump height and block height. These can be easily found on the Minecraft wiki. The jump height of a player is 1.2522 blocks high. For convenience, let's round it down to 1.25. This means that in perfect circumstances, it's possible to go up 5 blocks in height with just 4 jumps. This is where block height comes into play, because you need to divide 5 blocks in 4 sectors that are 1.25 blocks high each. The first block has to be 1.25 high, and there's only one block in the game that's this high by itself: the sticky piston hat facing down. The problem with this block is that it can only be spawned with commands, so this can't be performed in survival. Luckily, there are also blocks that are 0.25 high. You can start the tower with a full block and 3 layers of snow, a cauldron, or a medium amethyst bud. The second block needs to be 0.5 blocks high, so that can basically be any slab, or a cake if you're hungry. The third, 0.75 blocks, and the block that fits the best is the enchantment table, because all the other blocks of this height have to be placed against a wall, which is just really inconvenient. And the final block can be any full block. This way, you travel 5 blocks in 4 jumps. So now it's time to test this method to see if it's actually faster. I tried every method for a 20 block tower and compared the speed of the methods to each other. You can see that there's barely any difference between the normal and the alternating blocks way, but the new method was significantly faster. So this very inconvenient way is the actual fastest way to tower? Wrong, not even close. Why limit yourself to the Minecraft jump height if you can just push yourself up mid-jump? Just place a piston underneath you and activate it with a redstone block. With this method, you can build 20 blocks in 5.13 seconds, which means 3.9 blocks per second. This is way faster than this trash method. So I can basically throw all the previous calculations in the trash, because not only is this method way faster, it also uses 2 items instead of 4. So is this the fastest method? No, I'm an idiot. Jump boost exists. With jump boost 2, you can jump 2.5 blocks high. This means you can place 2 blocks plus a slab every time you jump for the maximum speed. This method clears 20 blocks in 3.96 seconds. That's 5.1 blocks per second. Way faster than this nerdy piston method. This must be the fastest method, right? Boring old jump boost. Hell no. Do you really think I'm gonna be defeated by jump boost? No. I went back to the piston ID because I think it has potential. Then I had a great idea. Using slime blocks to launch myself higher with the piston. This launches you 5 blocks in the air. So if you place 4 normal blocks and end with a piston and then repeat the process, you get to the top in 3.47 seconds or 5.8 blocks per second. Take that, jump boost. But to make it more optimized, it's also possible to place 3 normal blocks and then a piston and a slime block to immediately get the next boost. This improves the time to 2.65 seconds. That's 7.5 blocks per second. Sadly, there's one more optimization at the start. You can see that at the start, you need to jump twice for the setup. And there's only one way to do this in one jump. Jump boost 2. Using jump boost 2, you can place the piston and slime in one jump instead of 2. Now you can reach the top in 2.17 seconds, which means 9.2 blocks per second. This has to be the fastest way, right? And the answer to that is kinda. Because while trying out stuff, I started messing with explosives. First of all, I started with TNT, but the time it takes to explode is too long to even compete with the previous methods. But then, my friend mentioned end crystals, which was a great idea, because they explode immediately. So I started messing around with end crystals in creative. Using the momentum of an end crystal explosion to launch yourself whilst placing blocks was really effective, and this led to insane times like 1.82 seconds, which means 11 blocks per second, and then 1.77 seconds with jump boost too. Jump boost always wins. But there's one tiny problem. This was in creative. And in creative, you have more range than in survival. So it was the question if it was even possible in survival. The way I tried it was to remove the dirt block with an insta-mine shovel, place obsidian, and an end crystal, explode it at the start of the jump, and tower up until you start to lose momentum. Then place an end crystal and explode it immediately to keep momentum, and then go back to placing obsidian. But while I was doing this, I had to hotkey to a totem in my offhand. This left a lot of room for error, therefore I couldn't get it as fast in survival. In the end, I got a 20 block tower in 2.47 seconds, just 0.3 seconds slower than the piston method. But this tower was kinda scuffed, so the method had potential to be quicker if you do it perfectly. It's just that maintaining momentum is hard, and therefore it's not a consistent way of towering. So in conclusion, whoa, wait. Editing me here. While I was editing this, I just realized how stupid I am. There's a way better item that knocks you up really high without all the bad side effects that end crystals have. Wind charges. With wind charges, you can easily tower in survival, and it clears 20 blocks in 1.93 seconds, which means 10.3 blocks per second. It still has the downside of being inconsistent with its momentum, slowing down as you get higher. So I would say that the piston slime method is still better, because it's always consistent with its speed, and you can go up any height you want, unlike towering with wind charges. But the most important question is, was any of this even useful? Hell no! Who the fuck is ever gonna use this? All of these methods are basically impossible to perform without changing the tick speed, and the materials it uses are very inconvenient. But the most important question, was it fun to come up with all these methods? Hell yeah. I basically spent hours to come up and perform all these ideas me and my friends came up with. We were thinking of the wildest stuff and just tried it. Like a trident with Riptide, which didn't end up working because you go too fast to place the blocks underneath yourself, or a TNT cannon, while building up with alternating doors and blocks to keep up with the speed. Overall, a really enjoyable experience. And that's the most important thing. If you watched this video and thought to yourself, I know a method to do it way faster, then go for it. It's possible to improve the time by a lot. You would think that the maximum would be 20 blocks per second, because Minecraft runs on 20 ticks, so 1 block equals 1 tick. But there is one block that kind of ignores this rule, and that is scaffolding. Instead of being able to place 1 block per tick, it's possible to spam click and place multiple every tick. I don't know if this is intentional game design or just a bug, but it can be used to tower even quicker. While testing the maximum speed, I used levitating. With that I was able to get 108 blocks per second. With scaffolding, I was also able to perform the TNT jump with a tower. That this is only usable in creative, because in survival you get held back by the scaffolding, because you need to press shift to go up, but shift also brings you down in scaffolding. So you won't be able to go 108 blocks per second, but the possible speed is still higher because you can still place multiple underneath yourself, as long as you don't get trapped into the scaffolding. But okay, enough yapping by me. I just wanted to tell this to show you guys there's plenty of room for improvement, and I'm really curious if someone can find a faster method. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I would really appreciate a sub and a like, and that's basically all I have to say. Bye bye.